I said I can't feel my face when I'm with you. 'Cause it's freezing outside. 'Cause it's freezing outside. Yeah, Unit 5, rational equations. Is that rational? I don't know. Let's find out. So usually rational equations have polynomials divided by other polynomials, right? Yeah. So we got some good review going on. Good review. Pause me. Try number 1 on your own. So minus, do you remember how to minus 24 over to the other side? So we get x squared equals negative 24. Good. We have to square root both sides, so we get plus or minus. And then what does 24 factor into? Do you remember? What does it factor into? What's a perfect square factor? So negative 4 is a perfect square factor. Negative 4. So that means we get x equals plus or minus. The square root of 4 is just 2. Don't forget the negative. So the negative becomes an I. There we go. So we get plus or minus 2i radical 6, or 2 radical 6i, either way. Plus or minus. Nice. So try number 2. I would probably add 5x to the other side first, and then probably the quadratic formula, maybe. Or maybe it factors. Maybe it factors. Oh yeah, remember how to graph these with then behavior? Yeah, add up the powers. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, negative x to the 5th power. So that's up and then down. Remember up and then down? Don't forget the even powers. The even powers bounce. You got this. X-intercepts and bouncing and crossing. And then do an inequality, right? Inequality. So I would probably pull out something they have in common first, like maybe a 2. Pull out the GCF. And I'd probably pull out an x even, right? And that's one of our zeros. That's x equals 0 right there. X equals 0. So we're left with x to the 3rd power minus 8 divided by 2 is 4x squared minus 4x plus 4. Does that look right? I don't think that looks right. Let me see. So 2 divided by 2 is just 1, x cubed, good. And then 8 divided by 2 is negative 4, x squared, 1 power less, minus 4x. And then 32 divided by 2, there we go. So that's 16, way-o. So then you can divide that down the middle, right, and pull out the GCF. I'll let you finish it. And then you want to graph it. As well. And do a number line. Find your interval. Is it above or below the x-axis? So less than or equal to 0 is going to be below the x-axis. So keep on trying to remember how to do those. Still see those in the future. Get ready for ACTs. All right, so here's our main lesson. And so our main lesson is we want to simplify each of the following. We want to list all the domain restrictions. You can leave the denominators in factored form. Way-o. So whatever's left, you can just leave it in factored form. And we want to list all the domain restrictions first. And that's actually first. List all the domain restrictions first, right? We want to list them all first. There we go. So for example, let's see. So y can't equal 0. That's a domain restriction. Because that would make it 0 bottom. Can't divide by 0. Can't divide by 0. And then what can we cancel here? Well, 18 factors into like 2 times 9. Right? Y times y. And 60 factors into 6 times 10. Times y times y times y times y times y. So 2 of those y's will cancel. And then we got 10 and 10 factors into 2 times 5. So one of those 2's will cancel. 9 factors into 3 times 3. Right? And 6 factors into 2 times 3. And one of those 3's will cancel. So we just have a 3 in the top is all. We have a 3 in the top. We have y to the third power in the bottom. And then we have 2 times 5 is 10 in the bottom. So we get 3 over 10 times y to the third power. Right? Make sure I'm just double check myself before I wreck myself. Yep, looking good. Looking good. There we go. Awesome. Looking good. And y can't equal 0 is our restriction. Nice. So wow, so that's got 2 restrictions for number 6, huh? Yeah, because x can't equal 0 as well as z can't equal 0. Right? What makes it 0? So basically if it's a single letter in the bottom with no like parentheses or factors or anything, then it's just 0 every single time. Right? But it also gets a little tricky when there's a plus or a minus in there because it could be 0, it could be some other number. A lot of times it's another number. But you have to factor it really and see. So for example, number 7. So let's see here. So cannot just cancel, right? The minus or the plus with whatever, with whatever, with whatever. Like cannot just cancel. Like no, can't do that. If it's plus or minus, you can't just cancel it. You have to turn it into multiplication by factoring it. Pull out the GCF. Then multiplication things can cancel on the top and the bottom, right? So for example, this one we could pull out a 2x. And when you pull out a 2x, we're left with, let's see, x. We're left with, let me see here, so pull out a 2x. So we're left with x plus 2. And that's multiplication. Still can't cancel anything yet. Not yet. Got to factor the top. So we also pull out a 2x, right? Also pull out a 2x in the top. And we're just left with an x minus 4x divided by 2x. 4 divided by 2 is 2. The x's cancel. Yeah, so x minus 2. So now we can see that the 2x's can cancel because of multiplication. You can then take 2x divided by 2x, which is just a 1. Right? But first, let's list our restrictions. So our restrictions are 2x can't equal 0, and x plus 2 can't equal 0. And minus 2 to the other side, so that means x can't equal negative 2. Divide by 2, divide by 2, so you get x can't equal 0. So those are our two restrictions because it makes it 0 on the bottom. Can't divide by 0. Cool. So then we have a 2x divided by 2x. Anything with multiplication, those two can cancel now. And so our final answer is x minus 2 over x plus 2. Mr. Newbold, but I want to cancel those x's on the top and the bottom. You can't. They're connected to the 2's with subtraction and addition. So you can't do division. Just leave it how it is. Just leave it how it is. Wayo. Just leave it how it is. Okay, so number 9, let's do some factoring to see what our restrictions are. Number 9, do some factoring. See what our restrictions are. Thanks for making it, guys. Just doing a video. So doing some factoring there. We get x and x, 1 and 6. Interesting. So then those factor, and we get 1x and 6x is 7x. Yeah, we did it right. This one we could pull out a 5. So cool. So what are our restrictions? Well, you want to take the bottom, take each of those restrictions on the bottom, and you want to go ahead. If it lets me, Smartboard's being weird. What the? There we go. So x plus 1. Why isn't it working? What's going on with my pen? Just making a video, guys. Okay, so we take x plus 1. And it can't equal 0, same with the 6, can't equal 0. So we minus 1 to the other side, so x can't equal a negative 1. Minus 6 to the other side, x can't equal a negative 6. So these are called our restrictions, right? So now that we factored it, we found our restrictions. Now we can cancel stuff out in the top and the bottom. Fruit Ninja. So we're going to cancel the x plus 1s. And so that's all that's left. So we get 5 over x plus 6 as our answer with our restrictions. With our restrictions. So make sure you factor. And then look at your restrictions. And then cancel stuff out. Cancel stuff out. This is for next time, you guys. This is for next time. Whoa. Whoa. Just making a video there. Okay, last but not least, simplify multiplication and division problems completely. List all the domain restrictions. You can leave the denominators in factor form. All right. So then, let's see here. So again, if you have single letters just next to numbers, then it's just 0 is the only problem there. So A can't equal 0, B can't equal 0, and C can't equal 0. So those are restrictions. List all domain restrictions. You can leave the denominators in factored form. Okay, so I would just write all that out, right? That would be so easy if you just wrote it all out. We have an A, we have a couple B's, we got a 2, we got a couple C's going on there, C squared, all over 4 times C. And then 27 factors into 9 times 3, which factors into 3 times 3. So we got 3 times 3 times 3 times A times B. Way-o. 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 So the A cancels. Do some canceling now. So if we list our restrictions, good. So the A will cancel, if it lets me, with the... So this A will cancel with this one. This B will cancel with this one. This C will cancel with this one. This 3 will cancel with this 3. Wow, anything left that we can cancel? Let's take a look. Maybe this factors in 2 and 2, and so one of those 2's will cancel. So we just have a B and the C on the top. Okay. All divided by, we got a 2 left. And we have just a 3 times 3, which is 9. And so 3 times 3 is 9, and then 9 times 2 is 18. So we have BC over 18 is what we also got here. Woo! Yeah. All right, you guys. Thanks for watching. Watch my next video. Woo! Thanks for taking the test. Way-o. Thanks for taking the test. Let's go. Bye for now. Bye for now. I can clap with one hand. Whoa.